growing up, my parents were they were super supportive in all those. You know, I was in piano classes from age 6, I believe, but I didn't like the classes. I liked the piano. I didn't like the classes. So the piano classes were short-lived, but I always had a little keyboard and stuff at the house. I grew up singing in choir in church. Grew up drawing. That was actually my first, the first thing I was passionate about was drawing. And, you know, you go through all those phases. I was really good at basketball. That was the second thing that I was like really, 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 really into. And then it wasn't until college that the music thing really took over in that sense, because like I said earlier, I went to school to study pre-med biology. And I don't know, halfway through, like my junior year, I got a new roommate at the apartment I was staying in, and he moved in and he had like all these keyboards and all this stuff. And he was to date one of the better producers I've ever seen in my life. And I don't know, he just was the first person I saw doing that in a positive sense, you know, like he was also in school, like, cause I'm from Brooklyn, and like all my homies that grew up even talking about music, it didn't go well, you know, they kind of went off the path, and it just, that's why as a kid, I never saw music as like a viable outlet. It wasn't until way later in school when I was damn near 21, you know, that like those things, I kind of saw that vision, and it just happened, man. Like I still graduated with my degree and everything, but after graduation, I was like, nah, this music thing's what I want to do. And initially I just wanted to produce, because although I could sing really well, I didn't feel any desire to be the face of anything. So after graduation, I moved to LA, and I was working with a bunch of artists out there. And over the year I was out there, I just learned that there's the level of dedication and motivation that it takes to actually make it even a little bit in the music industry. Most people don't have that. So I ended up wasting a lot. Not wasting, let me not say that, because I learned a lot, but a lot of the attempts at producing fell short because the artists like didn't have that thing, you know? Like I think a lot of the artists I was working with, they liked the idea of being artists, but they didn't understand the follow through it takes and the consistency and the dedication. So when I moved back to New York, I was like, you know what? I'll do it. I'll do it by myself. Fine. You know? So that's where like you mentioned the production thing. Like I've produced all of my songs, all of them. Most of them I've mixed and mastered myself, except for a couple of tracks. My good friend Alex Toomey, he's an engineer. He's mixed and mastered a couple of my stuff. But like, I don't know, having all those start and stops and those failures, working with other people, it just kind of instilled in me that desire and the motivation to just do it myself. Not on a egomaniacal, not from an egomaniacal point of view or anything. It's just that I would love to have a bunch of help. I would love to have other people produce for me, other people mix me, but I don't have that right now, so I'm not going to let that stop what I'm doing. Well, first, the number one change is I started using Pro Tools. I do not use Pro Tools anymore. I use Logic. Production-wise, man, I use the main things I use now. A lot of guitar stuff, a lot of guitar playing. As far as like VSTs, I like Omnisphere a lot. And the Omnisphere is one of those things where I know everybody has it, but it's so deep. It's so, everybody can have it, and we could all sound different using it. I like a lot of output stuff. I've been heavy on the output stuff recently because those sounds are just weird, man. They're different, and it's another set. I know a lot of producers have access to that stuff, but it's so weird and different and so customizable. Yeah, those are my main things right now, man. Like output stuff and Omnisphere, man. I really like those two. To me, it's the only DAW that lets you equally do both, produce and like with the same efficiency. Like Pro Tools is the best if you are a mixing engineer, right? Logic is the best if you do both. If you want to be able to do both at a high level, Logic is the one. Because even Ableton's great for producers, for product, but to mix in Ableton, the workflow is, I don't like it.